accorded by Queen Juliana to Queen Elizabeth. Aintree, and they're all set to enjoy the greatest steeplechase in the world, in spite of the weather. All set to pick the winner, too. But whatever your fancy, it's best to remember that, like the name of the first winner, it's a lottery. Goosander, last year's favourite, or Sentina, one of the Irish hopes. I wish I'd known then Mr. What I know now. I say, chaps, a couple of smashing fillies. As for the bookies, they were out for another field day, in spite of the fact that thousands of punters were out to beat them. What a hope. All bets placed? Right, then after that preliminary canter, let's get on with the job. Away they go on their journey of almost 4.5 miles with 30 jumps to take. 31 runners and every one over the first fence. That's almost a record in itself. Never Say When, number 23, was the first to show up with a slight lead, trying to copy 1954 Derby winner Never Say Die, perhaps, though he's no relation. He continued to make the early running, just as last year's winner Sundew did. Longmead had already gone, and the fifth accounted for Princess Garter and Rendezvous 3. Coming up to Beecher's, perhaps the most famous jump in the world, Athenian led Goosander over. But Muss came to grief here, and so did Sentina. Round the top of the course, it's Never Say When, Goosander and Athenian, and plenty still galloping along behind them. The trio leads the field over that awkward jump at the canal turn. Sharp left and on towards Valentine's, which, like Beecher's, is lower on the landing side than on the takeoff. Slow motion camera here and some pretty jumping, with not a single mishap. Now we follow up alongside the leaders, Athenian and Goosander, nearest the camera, giving you a close-up of what it's like to ride in the National. Certainly a view you couldn't get even if you were there. Goosander and Athenian are fighting it out. It's a duel with little to choose between them. Goosander finished 6th last year. Athenian fell at Valentine's. But now they're both going along very well at nearly 30 miles an hour into the bargain. It's Goosander, Athenian, Never Say When, and Tiberetta. 20 runners still in the race and not quite halfway yet. Over the water jump, and it's still the same leaders. But Mr. Watt and Green Drill are not far away and beginning to gain ground. Racing along to take the whole course again, bar the last 2 jumps, a second duel is now developing between Goosander and Mr. Watt. On the far side, Arthur Freeman, riding Mr. Watt, is easily distinguished by his black and white hoop sleeves. Goosander and Mr. Watt contesting the National on their way to a second go at Beecher's Brook. Beecher's, once again the notorious jump is going to eliminate 2 runners from the race. Pippikin is down. Now Sidney Jones. He's the son of Davy Jones, who broke a rein and ran out when leading, remember? 22 jumps taken, and Mr. Watt holds on from Goosander with Green Drill not far off. Mr. Watt, heading for victory, leads Goosander and Green Drill over the canal turn. As Goosander fades out of the picture, it's Green Drill, number 14, who's taken his place. But from now to the end, it's almost a certainty that Mr. Watt and Arthur Freeman are bound to do it. Remembering Devon Block 2 years ago, of course, the Nationals never won before the winning post. At the last fence, Mr. Watt hits the top. He lands badly, but quickly recovers and gallops on. 30 lengths ahead of Tiberetta with Green Drill third. Mr. Watt fairly romps home the winner at 18 to 1. A great and very convincing victory. Incidentally, Ireland's 38th win this century. Mr. Watt, trained by Tom Taff, superbly ridden by Arthur Freeman, and owned by Mr. Coghlan. Hearty congratulations to them all. Oh, what a sweat.